Welcome to The Explainer. So today we're digging into some pretty startling intelligence reports about the Iranian regime. And what they show is a system that's, well, teetering on the edge. But not because of some foreign threat. No, the fire is coming from inside the house. All right, so let's really get into this. Because the answer, and this comes from his own officials in classified meetings, is probably not what you're thinking. We're not talking about sanctions or spies or some big military threat. No. This is way more personal, and for him, way more terrifying. Yep, you're seeing that right. It's not American bombs, it's his own people. That's the big secret, right? The regime's deepest, most guarded fear is a massive internal uprising. So while they're out there projecting this image of unshakable strength to the rest of the world, behind closed doors, it's a completely different story. The conversation is all about one thing: the very real possibility that their own citizens could bring the whole thing crashing down. Okay, so you might be asking, how do we even know this stuff? Well, it turns out that senior officials, I'm talking about the very people whose job it is to protect the supreme leader, have given him a pretty shocking warning, directly. And well, the details are starting to get out. And look at this quote. What's so wild about this is who said it. This isn't some analyst from a think tank just speculating. No, this is a direct admission from somebody deep inside Khamenei's inner circle. What they're really saying is that an attack from the outside wouldn't rally people to the regime. They think it would do the exact opposite. It'd give the protesters the perfect excuse, the perfect cover to rise up against it. This right here just lays out the massive disconnect, doesn't it? Publicly, it's all bluster and threats, An attack will be met with a regional war. But privately, it's pure panic. Their real fear isn't that an attack will wipe out their military. Their fear is that the sound of the first explosion will be the starting pistol for a revolution. So let's talk about how we got here. For decades, the regime's number one tool for control was, you guessed it, fear. Just raw fear. But now, according to insiders, that tool is completely broken. It's shattered. Think about this number, 30,000. During the protests in 2019 and 2020, security forces went on a brutal crackdown. Some estimates say they killed as many as 30,000 of their own people. Now, this wasn't just crowd control. This was a straight-up massacre. And the goal was simple: terrorize everyone into submission. But it backfired. Big time. And this quote, wow, it just says everything, doesn't it? The violence didn't create more fear. What it created was thousands and thousands of families who now have nothing left to lose, and a deep, burning need for revenge. For every person they killed, they probably created a dozen more enemies. And that's a kind of math that no government, no matter how brutal, can survive in the long run. This here, from a former senior official, is absolutely crucial. The wall of fear has collapsed. Just think about that. When your people stop being afraid to die because they feel like they've already lost everything that matters, your old playbook, the repression and the threats, it just stops working. And that, right there, is the ultimate nightmare for any authoritarian regime. All right, so this paranoia, it goes all the way to the top. We're now seeing leaked intelligence about Khamenei's personal escape plan, and it shows you just how seriously he is taking this threat of a total collapse. So get this. The trigger condition, the thing that makes Khamenei say, okay, it's time to go. It's not foreign bombs falling on Tehran. It's the moment his own soldiers start deserting or refuse to fire on the protesters. He's more afraid of his own military turning on him than he is of a foreign superpower. Just let that sink in. I mean, the fact that this plan even exists is a huge admission, right? It's basically him saying he doesn't believe his own propaganda. All that talk about the regime being invincible, he doesn't buy it. He's got his go bag packed and a plane ticket to Moscow ready and waiting. And Western intelligence profiles him as a paranoid leader, someone totally obsessed with his own survival. Apparently, this got even worse during a recent conflict with Israel. He supposedly spent the whole time hiding in a bunker. That experience, being tucked away safely while his commanders were out on the front lines, has supposedly just supercharged his paranoia and this laser focus on his own personal exit strategy. Okay, so this isn't just about some protests or one guy's paranoia. The cracks are showing everywhere. The entire foundation of the Islamic Republic seems to be unraveling from a bunch of different directions all at the same time. Just look at this list. You've got a succession crisis, Khamenei is 86, and there's no clear replacement. The economy is in absolute free fall, which has turned even the bazaar merchants, their traditional base, against them. The protests have spread to over 300 locations, even to the holy city of Qom. And then there's the military loyalty issue. And we're talking about the regular army and the police, not the super loyal Revolutionary Guard. It's just a perfect storm for a total system failure.
So, where does this all lead? Well, according to an analysis from the Hudson Institute, the end of the Islamic Republic, at least as we know it, seems pretty much inevitable. The real question isn't if it's going to change anymore, the question is how. And here are the three likely paths they lay out. A total collapse from protests, a transformation where, say, a military strongman takes over, or just a slow, painful decay into irrelevance. But here's the key thing to get. Not a single one of these scenarios is a win for the current system. Whether it's a collapse, a coup, or just withering away, it all spells a massive strategic defeat for the theocracy that's been in charge for decades.
And really, that's the bottom line here. According to all these insider reports and analysis, the system is basically on life support. The wall of fear that held it up? Gone. The leader himself has a getaway plan, and the very pillars of the state are crumbling. The regime is dying. The only real question left is, what's going to come next?